All right, guys. Paul Singh, the Market Speculator, with the trade report for Wednesday, June 19th, 2019. Recording this video instead of pre-market. I'm going to be busy. Um, just before the close on Tuesday. Uh, really important day for us today in terms of the technical pattern. Pickup in volume and a break of this range heading towards highs here on SPY. This is significant. If it wasn't for the Fed meeting tomorrow, I would be jumping into positions today. And I've gone back and forth and was going to add a position or two today, decided not to. Got to be prudent. We've got the two positions on. We're just going to stick with those. Fed meeting tomorrow, 11 Pacific, my time, 2 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow. I think the best thing to do is wait for that to get out of the way, because sometimes even when what is expected happens, the market will react unexpectedly. So we don't want to get caught in that and have a bunch of positions. Let's play it safe. Maybe, it ends up popping and we miss a little bit we could have got, but that's okay. It's better to be safe. So that's the plan heading into the Fed meeting tomorrow. But technically, everything looks good. The expectation tomorrow is Fed does not raise rates and talks about cutting in the future. Any deviation from that would probably send the market down. And that's the risk here. Even if they don't cut this time, but they say, you know what, in the future, we don't think we need to lower rates. That would hurt the market most likely, and we'd probably see a big move down. So we don't want that to happen. Today's pop is being attributed to Trump's mention that he's going to get together with the leader of China. Hopefully, that settles down some of the nervousness about the trade war. But because of that, that's another reason we take this with a grain of salt, because it's just really based on something that could or couldn't happen. So kind of iffy, even though technically the pattern is really good. Now let's go to the Qs. So these are all things we have to think about here. But the Qs, fantastic, on fire. And then leading, which has been lagging, is semiconductors. Look at that huge move today, up 4%. And then IWM getting up over a key level, which is the 200-day moving average. We've been waiting for that. We want small caps to at least keep pace now after lagging for a long time. Got up over the 50-day, but looks like we're going to close under that level. But still constructive here. This is what we want to see. If small caps were down here today, that would have been a worry. So that's a good thing. Let's look at Brazil. We've been watching Brazil. Brazil looks strong today. India, not so strong, but at least Brazil, one of the bricks here, pulled back and is showing strength today. So another area we've been watching. And then home builders, I think tomorrow's news will have a big impact on home builders, but has been showing relative strength. So another area we're going to be watching closely tomorrow. And then software as well, which has been leading the market. Current positions, Apple, nice move here, bounce 198. If we can get the trade war news out of the way and we can get the Fed stuff out of the way, Apple looks ready to make a run after having two successive good earnings seasons. So hopefully we get that run here in Apple. And then Uber, kind of sitting here, up a little bit today, not doing much, but the overall pattern is still constructive. The breakout, pullback, hold the 9. Now let's see if we get that run after the early stages of IPO are over and we're heading into the middle stage. Hopefully we can get that breakout and a big run here. So only these two positions. Let's go to the focus list now. Let's start with kind of a cousin here of Uber. That would be Lyft. I really like Lyft, almost better than the pattern in Uber now. Breaking this range here that has been forming for a while. Now, I didn't enter today, one, because of the Fed meeting tomorrow, and two, we like to be non-correlated, and I don't want two of almost the exact same company, some very similar spaces on at the same time. So I will just stick with Uber, although I really like this Lyft, and it could really run here. So definitely watch that. If you're looking for a trade, that's a good one. Solars have been doing really well. SEDG was looking very strong today, but after breaking over the range, puts in this hammer. So we can't really do anything off that candle. BABA looking strong here. The China news from today obviously helps it. And I forgot to pull up China. China is looking really strong here. Here's the triple leveraged bull ETF. and we can see the kind of move it made today, up 8%. So China is in play, but it's still risky with all the trade war stuff, very sensitive. But you can see Huya looking very strong today, Baidu looking strong today, SINA looking strong today, IPO, TME looking fantastic today. So a lot of good stuff coming out of China. Oil also strong today. We've been talking about potentially entering if it could break the 9, and it did that today. Again, I'm going to wait for the Fed meeting to add anything, but oil is definitely on the radar, as is XLE. Now, I haven't pulled up any oil-related stocks. I'd probably go with either the oil ETF or the energy ETF, and obviously we would use the triple leveraged for the ETF. And then let's go to specific stocks here. Race breaking to highs after a consolidation could set up a big run here. I think it's at a good entry spot right now. ZM, another IPO, is consolidating above the 9 EMA. I think the play here is either a test and hold of the 9 or a break of the highs. So we'll be watching ZM very closely. Goose was a gap down. A lot of these retails gap down or have been hit hard, but are coming back now. I like the way it's holding the 9. It's really at a good entry spot right now. Coles, we're watching for a breakout over the 9 for a gap down continuation reversal. We could enter here 48, 49, very low risk, may risk 2 points. And top of the range here would be about 8 points. So we're looking at 4 to 1 on potentially on Coles, Home Builder, LGIH, looking very strong. Lots dependent on tomorrow. We could also do Nail, which is a triple leveraged ETF. Two of the FANG stocks I'm watching, Netflix. Let's see if it can get back up over its 50-day moving average, although the pattern looks very messy. Amazon as well is back on trend, looking very strong. And then Facebook, very sensitive to the crypto news. So I'm not going to get into Facebook right now, but we'll continue to watch it. We talked about 3M yesterday, and fantastic. I was tempted to enter this one today. Low risk, high reward. We're going to risk about 3 points here for a potential target of about 15 points, so 5 to 1. But we'll wait till tomorrow on that one. Ulta has been very strong. Let's see how it reacts to the pullback here. Lulu is breaking out today to highs. I think you could potentially enter it on a pullback and retest of 180, which it might not do. But if it does do, we're going to watch that level very closely. And then all of these software stocks now, I really like today as it's breaking the highs. And then all these other guys are putting in basically the same pattern. Coop, Twilio, Team, W Day, essentially the same pattern here. And we can enter potentially after tomorrow's, I like Cyber a lot as well. And then one last thing, the metals that have been beaten down. Let's watch X for a break of the 50-day moving average, and FCX, similar pattern. It's got more overhead resistance, so I think X is a safer play here. And then CLF also has been strong, and we'll watch for a break of the 200-day moving average. So lots to watch tomorrow. One last thing. I mean, there's so much we could watch for tomorrow, but we're going to watch financials too, and potentially FAS as well. So lots to prepare for tomorrow. Hopefully it's not a dud. Hopefully we get what we want. And on top of getting what we want, the market reacts the way we want to. If it wanted to, if it does, we can start getting aggressive.